sprinkles, Santa Claus's special elf, because everything is special with sprinkles. Santa Claus knows you're special too, and he has something to say to you. So listen close as Santa Claus shares holiday cheer with you. You can leave a special message for Santa Claus and get on the nice list at www.santaclaussays.net. Now here is the big man himself, Santa Claus!
Ho, 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 ho! And Merry Christmas to one and all, children of all ages from around the world, to come join me, Santa Claus, here in Santa Claus's wonderful workshop at the North Pole. Santa Claus says, be good for goodness sakes. Santa Claus says is here to bring you 3 messages today: a message of Christmas cheer and a message of a Christmas story. We like to read the story, The Life and the Adventures of Santa Claus, and to read Letters to Santa. We want you to know that Santa is always listening to you, that you can always give me your message by going to santaclaussays.net. That's the website you go to if you need somebody to help you to go there, santaclaussays.net. There's a place there to leave me a voice message, and I might play your voice message right here on santaclaussays.net, or a text message. I can get your text messages right here on Santa Claus's purple cell phone, and I can respond to you that way. And you can leave me an email at santaclaussays.net/present, and I will send you out a present as well in your email. If you'd like to know more about how I can be very personal with a visit with you, there's information there at santaclaussays.net about how you can have a personalized, by name, video greeting or a personalized video visit. That is a Zoom call that you do with Santa Claus. And that's what we do here at santaclaussays.net. There is the Glockenspiel, which means it's time for story time here at santaclaussays.net. The story we are reading every day is The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus, and the author's name is L. Frank Baum, and he also wrote the book called The Wizard of Oz. And some of you might be reading along, and today we're on chapter 5 called The Master Woodsman. And I want to remind you that the book that we're reading from is brought to us courtesy of Project Gutenberg. So let's begin to read the book, this chapter today, chapter 5, The Master Woodsman. Years pass swiftly in Burzee, for the nymphs have no need to regard time in any way. Even creatures make no change in their dainty creature. Even centuries make no change in the dainty creatures. Ever and ever they remain the same, immortal and unchanging. Claus, however, being mortal, grew to manhood day by day. Necile was disturbed presently to find him too big to lie in her lap, and he had a desire for other food than milk. His stout legs carried him far into Burzee's heart, where he gathered supplies of nuts and berries, as well as several sweet and wholesome roots, which suited his stomach better than the bell udders. He sought Necile's bower less frequently, till finally it became his custom to return thither only to sleep. The nymph, who had come to love him dearly, was puzzled to comprehend the changed nature of her charge, and unconsciously altered her own mode of life to conform to his whims. She followed him readily through the forest paths, as did many of her sister nymphs, explaining as they walked all the mysteries of the gigantic wood and the habits and nature of living things which dwelt beneath its shade. The language of the beast became clear to little Claus, but he never understood their sulky and morose tempers. Only the squirrels, the mice, and the rabbits seemed to possess cheerful and merry natures. Yet would the boy laugh when the panther growled and stroked the bear's glossy coat while the creature snarled and bared its teeth menacingly. The growls and the snarls were not for Claus. He knew well. So what did they matter? He could sing the songs of the bees, recite the poetry of the woodflowers, and relate the history of every blinking owl in Burzee. He helped the Ryls to feed their plants and the Canucks to keep order among the animals. The little immortals regarded him as a privileged person, being especially protected by the Queen, by Queen Zerline, and by her nymphs, and favored by the great Ak himself. One day, the master woodsman came back to the forest of Burzee. He had visited in turn all the forests throughout the world, and they were many, and they were broad. Not until he entered the glade where the queen and her nymphs were assembled to greet him did Ak remember the child he had permitted Necile to adopt. Then he found, sitting familiarly in the circle of lovely immortals, a broad-shouldered, stalwart youth who, when erect, stood fully as high as the shoulder of the master himself. Ak paused, silent and frowning, to bend his piercing gaze upon Claus. The clear eyes met his own steadfastly, and the woodsman gave a sigh of relief as he marked their placid depths and read the youth's brave and innocent heart. Nevertheless, as Ak sat beside the fair queen and the golden chalice filled with rare nectar passed from lip to lip, the master woodsman was strangely silent and reserved, and stroked his beard many times with a thoughtful motion. With morning he called Claus aside in kindly fashion, saying, "Bid good day for a time to Necile and her sisters, for you shall accompany me on my journey through the world." The venture pleased Claus, who knew well the honor of being companion to the master woodsman of the world. But Necile wept for the first time in her life and clung to the boy's neck as if she could not bear to let him go. The nymph who had mothered this sturdy youth was still as dainty, as charming, and beautiful as when she had dared to face Ak with the babe clasped in her breast, nor was her love any less great. Ak beheld the two clinging together, seemingly as brother and sister to one another, and again he wore his thoughtful look. That concludes Chapter 5 of the book. Chapter 6, which we'll read next time here on SantaClausSays.net, the title is Claus Discovers Humanity. You're going to want to tune in next time here to SantaClausSays.net on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Apple Podcasts, and on the website, SantaClausSays.net, to get the next chapter of our book. Remember, it is the life and the adventures of Santa Claus. Oh, there's Twinkles with our Glockenspiel, which means it's time for our letter to Santa. We want to remind you that you can always send Santa a letter or an email or a voicemail, and you can do that by going to SantaClausSays.net. You can leave me a voicemail, you can leave me a text message on my cell phone, my purple cell phone, or you can certainly leave me an email, and I will return your email with a present. You just go to SantaClausSays.net/present. That's what we have for you. Here is our letter to Santa for the day. It goes like this. Dear Santa, this year I have been very good. You should come because I haven't hit my sister with my four-wheeler. I would like a TV because I'm always bored in my room. I would like a Nerf gun because my cousin is getting one from his family. Is Rudolph real? How do reindeer fly? Love, Tommy. What a wonderful letter. Love to hear your letters. We'd love to read your letters or your voicemails or hear your voicemails here on SantaClausSays.net. So please make sure we get those letters and those voicemails and those texts coming in. Well, there's the Glockenspiel, boys and girls, which means it's about time to conclude this episode of Santa Claus Says. It's been wonderful to be with you. I want you to remember that Santa Claus loves you, and I listen to you, and I want to hear from you. Please go to SantaClausSays.net and be in communication with me and with Sprinkles, and everybody here at Santa's Workshop in the North Pole will know about you. We love to hear from you, and we love to share the Christmas cheer with you. Remember, at SantaClausSays.net, we do three things. We spread Christmas cheer, we read a great Christmas story, and we hear letters to Santa. Until next time, children of the world, this is Santa Claus, and Santa Claus says, be good for goodness sakes.
You're special to Santa Claus, just like Sprinkles. Get on Santa's nice list at SantaClausSays.net and watch Santa Claus Says on YouTube. Tell him Sprinkles sent you.